any cargo ship that enters the Mississippi River, one of the busiest waterways in the United States, first has to stop 3 to 5 miles offshore in the Gulf of Mexico. A radio call goes out to a base camp, perched on a strip of land where the river meets the Gulf. A small boat leaves to meet the ship, and a person scrambles up the rope ladder hung over the side and takes control. These expert navigators are known as bar pilots, so called for their ability to weave between sandbars. It's a specialized skill. Right now, there are only 49 of them permitted to guide ships through the river entrance. But an entire economy is dependent on them. Would anything happen to the bar pilots, the entire flow of goods entering and exiting the Gulf could come to a standstill. Licensed by the state of Louisiana, they are the only people allowed to steer the more than 11,000 ships through the Southwest Passage each year and onto 5 major ports, including New Orleans and Baton Rouge. These cargo ships and bulk carriers, which can be up to several football fields long, carry a combined 500 million tons of cargo. The trade value through the port of New Orleans alone is more than $130 billion each year. It's a special role they've held for the past 150 years. The bar pilots are unique in that they eat, sleep and live together in close quarters, in 2-week rotations, on 2 desolate pilot stations at the very southernmost tip of the boot of Louisiana, along with around 40 other crew members. "We are very communal," says Captain Michael Miller, president of the Associated Branch Pilots. "All of our employees and all the pilots are living together." When the coronavirus pandemic hit in March, the bar pilots kept powering through. "We are considered essential," says Miller. The pilots navigate cargo ships up and down the first 30 miles of the river, which are subject to shoals, or sandbars, that are constantly changing with the water currents, which is why the local expertise is required. Working with the U.S. Coast Guard and public health authorities, they developed the litany of protocols most of the world is now familiar with: personal protective equipment, disinfectant and distance. A strict protocol was vital because each pilot on duty boards about 2 to 3 ships a day, interacting with the crews of the vessels they steer and then returning to the base. Every time you penetrate that bubble from the outside, you risk just dragging COVID in with you, says Miller. And that's our greatest fear. An outbreak could not only incapacitate many of the pilots in one swoop, but it could clog up some of the busiest seaports in the Western Hemisphere. A key aspect of keeping the ships moving was a fast and reliable COVID-19 diagnostic test. For that they turned to Abbott Laboratories' ID Now test, which gets results in under 13 minutes.